All right, guys, good morning. Good morning. Happy Thanksgiving Eve. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of GAR Capital. Glad to be with you this morning and every morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanksgiving Eve because tomorrow is Thanksgiving. The market is closed. So if you're going to be here at 9 a.m. waiting for me to get on YouTube, more than likely it's not going to happen because of the fact that the market is closed. But I'll be back here on Friday, ready to go over it with you guys. And let's go ahead and just talk about today, being Wednesday, November 22nd. 2023. Futures this morning are green. Dow futures up 62. NASDAQ up 0.54%. The relentless buying continues. S&P 500 up 0.36%, 4567. 1801 for the Russell, up 0.68%. The VIX below 13 at 1293, down 3%. The dollar index is up slightly, quarter point, 103.82. How about crude oil? Crude oil is down 4.44%. OPEC meeting was delayed with the Saudis and the rest of the group. 74.34. Gasoline futures $2.12. Seeing a lot of sub $3 gasoline right around my neighborhood. And I think the national average is starting to creep down to the $3 level. Obviously, California, Hawaii, those numbers, those states with their taxes, obviously, and import costs, they skew the number a bit. But again, lowest levels of gasoline since 2020. 2020, imagine that. Tends to be November and December we get lower prices in gas. Again, guys, seasonality. Let's keep it real. Gold futures 2001 now flat. Silver futures 23.83 down about 0.12%. Copper futures down 1%, $3.77. Euro dollar 108.95 down 17 pips. 149.28 for the dollar yen. Shout out to Nick for catching that dollar yen twice this week. Excellent work. Dollar Canadian dollar 137.34. That's up 33 pips. Pound dollar 125.08 down 26 pips. Bitcoin 36,635 down 0.77%. Ethereum is up 2% this morning to 2035. I assume crypto will get a lot of conversation and stocks at the dinner table, Thanksgiving dinner table. So on Friday, if you guys have any kind of experience of family members asking about Bitcoin or the stock market, let us know. Those are really good surveys of people who are not in the market all the time. See how everyone else feels. Good morning, everybody. Fitzvibe is asking me about Bitcoin this morning. A very popular subject, obviously. Bitcoin is just range bound here. Get above 38,000, then we can get a little excited because we're going to go to 42,140. But you got to break 38,000. It looks pretty good here. I think we still get continuation. Again, we do have a golden cross, as we know. We had a golden cross really since March. So excellent work here on Bitcoin. Again, holding up so far. The dollar being down helps, as we know. But let's see if cryptocurrency starts moving a little bit on Thanksgiving, because that's more likely the only American market or American-based market that's open. For some reason, holiday season, Bitcoin tends to get a lot of love. I can't take any more Bidenomics, Jimmy says. Well, I can't really comment on that in regards to politics. Politics are very fickle. Um, Listen, there's many political shows out there on YouTube, and I try not to be one of them. But we've talked about politics and how it affects the market. We know the drill. Listen, guys, Bidenomics or not, don't you think this is rather convenient timing? I don't know. Year before the presidential election, rates going down, dollar going down, stock market going up, inflation easing, gasoline prices. I'm just saying, just seems rather convenient timing is all. I mean, we'll see what happens. We'll see if it's sustainable. I do think gasoline is going to continue to go down just for the fact that demand is getting softened. So if you want gasoline and energy prices to go up, let's say you're an energy investor, you're waiting for China. You're waiting for China to really bounce back from where their recession, they're not going to call it recession, but whatever their economic data is. And I say whatever because their data, for the most part, again, it's centrally central government controlled. So I don't know how we could take that for face value. Some may say the United States data, how can we trust that? So to each their own, but if someone is in the energy market looking for higher oil prices, higher energy prices, higher energy stock prices, you're really looking to China, not really the United States. The United States now more than ever is drilling more oil than it ever has before. So we export a lot. The United States exports a lot of oil. So we'll see how the price action of oil continues. Bitcoin, like we talked about, getting off the screen here. Let's go to oil here. Again, breaking down right near the support that we talked about. We went ahead and talked about 72, 75. We shorted at 75. I wouldn't short here. We're down 4%. If we start breaking down below 72.20, then it starts getting interesting, and I may have to short. I mean, market deems an opportunity. I'm going to take a look because you're taking a look here at 67.49, possibly 66, 65, if anything. So that's what we're looking for. But again, these OPEC headlines get very fickle. We know they get a little crazy. We have oil inventories today. So again, we did have an API private buildup of 3 million barrels versus the 1 million barrels estimate. That's API. American Petroleum Institute. Today is the Department of Energy crude oil inventories. Anyone who's a crude or commodities trader knows Wednesdays is where it's at, 10:30 in the morning. We'll keep an eye on crude for there. So, dude, I like you. I like your podcast. Any chance more of them? Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna be completely honest. I love talking to you guys. I love podcasts. I love doing that stuff. I just run out of subjects at the end of the day. So, when I do the morning note, it's pretty easy to talk about what's happening overnight, what happened during the day, what we expect. But to have daily content, I mean, I would just need at least some kind of help in terms of subjects. We could. I was thinking about doing an IG live today, but I don't think anyone's going to be on with Thanksgiving. But the night before Thanksgiving is usually the night to, indulge a bit with the cousins and the family and the friends that you don't see too often, that either come from out of town or you're going to their town. So I don't think many people are going to be on social media that day. Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe I could do a live or something. Again, Jimmy, if you want to talk about anything in terms of a subject matter, leave a comment. Leave a comment below. I'll do a video. I love talking to you guys. If you want to call this kind of a podcast type of program that we do every day, that's fine too. We did a podcast. It was me and Nick, but then we just kind of ran out of subjects to talk about since we kind of talk about the market all day. If you're on the server or you listen to YouTube with us, you're pretty much up to date on everything. And none of this stuff is surprising, as we know. But thank you again, Jimmy. I mean, if you have any ideas, please let us know. Uh, Listen, I just try not to get into politics. Just for the examples, I'm going to piss off somebody. All right, the idea is not to get anyone upset. That's not my goal. The idea is to inform and help individuals understand the markets and understand what we're looking at in perspective. Not here to change anyone's mind. Good luck. I'm out of that game a long time ago. That's very difficult to change people's minds, especially on politics and especially on views that people really take onto their own. Maybe certain people take the market, very personally. Something that they can't control. I never understood why you would take that personally. I mean, if you can control something, that's different. But something you can't control, politics, the market, tough. But you can't really control any. But it does hit us at a certain emotional points. Everyone has triggers, let's just say. Avgo. Let's take a look at broadband. Avgo. Wow. What more can I say? It's tech stocks. Broadcom is soaring. I don't have any detail. Listen, if I'm just going by the price action, this thing is going to go higher. It'd be nice if we had a stock split, 998, 988 a share. You're at near all-time highs of 1,003. I don't know what really the question is. Maybe we get a pullback to 924. If you own Broadcom, just keep it. You're killing it. But there's really not much to do there. Really, the highs are 1,003, and looks like we'll get there. It's just a question of when. Palantir. Victor's asking about one of my favorite stocks, Palantir. And I regret not adding it to the top 10 of 2023. Doesn't matter. Palantir, gap to fill right here, 23.92. So we'll put our target as 24. That's what we're looking for. We had a pullback yesterday, as we know, in the market. Nothing too crazy. The market's bouncing back. Bulls are relentless. Again, guys, the pain trade is higher. People don't expect stocks to go higher. That's the pain trade. Inverse to where we were in 2022, where, buying the dip was very difficult because the prices kept dipping. You have that inverse frustration, let's just say. So that's my price target on Palantir. Let's talk about NVIDIA and their numbers. NVIDIA, of course, the darling of the stock that everyone loves, right? Let's bring up NVIDIA. I want to bring up the earnings. Oh, really quick. We are getting into the strongest point of November. We get the strength the 21st, the 22nd, the 23rd, 24th, 25th. So again, do not be surprised. We go higher, even though we've read all this stuff about CTAs having to sell any kind of stocks. Again, seasonally speaking, we're getting into a strong period, the strongest period of November. You thought November was strong now. End of November gets really going. Let's see NVIDIA's earnings. NVIDIA EPS of $4.02, beating estimates of $3.39. Revenue of $18.1 billion, beating expectations of $16.1 billion. It fell initially and then it bounced, as we know. I think it's trading now at $500.94, pretty much flat. So if you traded NVIDIA options, you pretty much upset, especially if you're this week. Keep in mind, guys, NVIDIA tripled their revenue, tripled quarter over quarter. They also have a guidance now of $20 billion plus or minus for the next quarter. I went ahead and did some numbers on that. Let's go ahead and do some assumptions here. $20 billion a quarter is $80 billion a year in revenue. Just want to give a little bit as well. NVIDIA has a 75% gross margin. Gross margin. So keep in mind, every dollar they make, 75% is the margin profit. So let's break the numbers down. That's $80 billion a year with 75% margin. $80 billion a year in revenue. Let's wrap our mind around that. That is right near what Wells Fargo does every year and Procter & Gamble in terms of revenue. Wells Fargo, large bank, one of the largest banks in the United States. Procter & Gamble, if not the largest consumer goods company in the United States. Procter & Gamble. We know Gillette, all those names, right? The shaving, the cereals, all that stuff. The Tide. Imagine how many people buy detergent. They have the same exact revenue as NVIDIA. Expectation. That for little pieces of plastic. These chips are so important for the lifeblood of this new economy, this information tech economy, with artificial intelligence, self-driving cars, the autonomous vehicles, and of course, just the power of computing, cloud, data centers. NVIDIA is in the forefront of that. So what do I expect in terms of these semiconductors? And again, we talked about this in the top 10 of 2023, how important these semiconductors are. SMH was part of it. And I even said on video, you can either do SMH or you can buy NVIDIA because NVIDIA is the biggest part of SMH, the semiconductors ETF. So let's take a look at the SMH today. And I mean, a breakout, yeah, 163.60, we're near how many highs? We're near all-time highs. So excellent if you do have SMH. Just these numbers are really outworldly. So it's kind of, in my mind, saying this stock is either going to go to $1,000 per share without a stock split, or the books are cooked. I mean, either they're just completely lying on this revenue and this margins, or this company is really just getting started. And again, we just got some price targets today from Goldman Sachs. 605 to 625. JP Morgan raised their target to 650. Bank of America raised their target to 700. That's, I think, the most here other than Bernstein. Bernstein has it 700. UBS is 580. Wells Fargo 675. Morgan Stanley 603. Mizuho, I'm going to mispronounce that, 625. And Stifel raised it to 665. All of those banks are seeing what the future holds for NVIDIA. And again, guys, NVIDIA has a backlog. Their problem is that they can't fill demand. So when you can't fill demand, you have pricing control. You can raise prices, control prices. Think of Saudi Arabia when there's a big demand for oil. So NVIDIA is the leader in the clubhouse. They have price control as they are trying their best to meet the demand of all the chips that are being needed by either the US government or private entities. Obviously, China not being one of them with the CHIPS Act. Well, not the CHIPS Act, excuse me, the embargo on AI chips to China from the United States. So, we know these names: NVIDIA, AMD, Taiwan Semiconductor, all ramping up, obviously, to fill the need. The question is, does that need grow? And I think that's where the expectation of that $20 billion guide is that, hey, as they ramp up production, they're going to fill those needs, maybe keep prices where they are. That's why their margins are so high. So again, semiconductors are the lifeblood of this new economy. They are what oil was in the 20th century. Everything's going to be powered by those things. The little pieces of plastic, they just can't make enough. That's where NVIDIA is at currently. Love the stock. I've been loving the stock. You own it. Trade it if you want. I wouldn't. Just own it. Leave it alone. Leave your hands clean. Just hold it. Hold it. We've been owning NVIDIA since 2018. We've been talking about that. We've been trading NVIDIA since 2018. I remember that thing was like at $80 a share, and now you're at 500. So either NVIDIA is going to go to 1,000 within 5 years, or the books are cooked. We don't know. But if we take the information given by the CEO and the company at face value, I assume that's GAAP accounting. Yeah, this thing has got moved. This thing has got legs. I think we're in a new cycle, a new tech cycle, where again, semiconductors, these are the cogs of the new economy. So that's what I'm looking for. Next, let's see, thoughts on Apple stock slowing down. In terms of slowing down for what? So again, I think people kind of confuse Apple, the company, with Apple, the stock. Apple, the stock is just as impressive as Apple, the company. I didn't want to say not as impressive because Apple has a lot of cash, makes a lot of money, one of the top revenue companies on planet Earth. In terms of the stock, it's very commoditized. I mean, if you have an S&P 500, everyone has Apple. You have it. So you can't really say I don't like Apple because we don't own any S&P index fund or any kind of, for the most part, Apple's going to be in it. So again, it's more of a community stock. Do I think it slows down? One definitely looks like resistance. 198 looks like resistance. This is going to go. The question is, we filled the gap. We slowed down a little bit. We're at 195. 195 calls for next week. Why keep an eye on them? Maybe 195 calls around December 15th. I've been noticing the December 15th strike, that's OPEX and triple witching, that's getting a lot of love, a lot of attention. So people are going to buy time. I don't think many are trying to buy any kind of options for today. I mean, unless you're gun while you're doing and hearing a clock going tick, tick, tick the whole way, it's definitely not. Did you get the 24 Almanac book yet? I have not. I have not. Black Friday on Friday, they have a nice deal on Amazon. Let's see. T says, what are you talking about with that blanket statement? Oh, he's talking about Play with Fire is talking about the podcast. We're talking about Bidenomics. Morning on Tesla. So I'm assuming that you are a shareholder, obviously. You have a gap to fill at 225. If you can get there, that seems like a pretty decent level, 200 to 225. I know, a pretty big range. But again, 225 is that gap level I'm looking for. You still need to get above 250 before we get any kind of level of excitement for more upside. It is pretty choppy here. It's a great stock to trade. That's it. It's a trading stock at this moment. To own long term, if you don't like volatility, there's other names out there, but Tesla is volatile because, like we talked about, it's commoditized. Now Tesla's in how many ETFs? How many people trade in options? Guilty, right here. It's my fault that we get this craziness on Tesla because those options are traded constantly. The highest traded options in the United States is always Tesla or Apple. That's one of the two. So these names, I hate to say this words, are too big to fail in terms of stocks. So if you're taking a look at it by the dip level, 225, if you break above 250, you may want to get in because you're going to get to 290, which is that gap fill. Fave stocks of 2024. Ooh, Austin, you're ahead of me, man. You got to give me a couple weeks to start writing this down. Got to see how the year ends, and then we're going to go ahead and talk about it, as you know. End of the year is always exciting for me because that's when we start our forecasting. I'm already thinking about 2024, guys. We only got, 5 weeks left in 2023? It's been a great year. Been a great year. Don't forget, Black Friday deals happening until Friday. The masterclass 60% off, annual plan 60% off. Take a look at our Instagram if you guys are interested. And of course, as always, the live market blog on Discord, description in the box below. That is always free. That's Black Friday every day. Free for everybody. Love to have you on the market blog. Love to have you guys with me every single day talking about the markets. But yeah, that's where we are today. 36 viewers this morning. That's great. I mean, for you guys to be in the office, maybe it's a little slow. I totally understand. But 9 a.m. seems to be that right way where everyone's getting a cup of coffee ready for the day. So again, you have no idea what it means to me for you guys to be here, listening, asking questions. I do it for y'all every single day. I love talking to you guys. Podcasts, why not? Why not? I mean, just got to find some damn subjects. What do we talk about? That's the thing. The fact that you guys want to hear anything I have to say is absolutely hilarious and a blessing. And it's in my mind, which is totally cool. Austin, Man U, killing me. Maybe the Glazers do sell. Maybe that's a Christmas gift. We'll see. But Man United is a mess. But my focus is on football, and the Cowboys play tomorrow. Cowboys and Commanders. Go Cowboys. So I hope everyone has a excellent Thanksgiving day. So much to be grateful for, guys. I'm very grateful for you guys being the audience, asking questions, viewing our podcast. Viewing our videos, liking our Instagram posts, TikToks, all that good stuff. We do it for y'all. We do it for y'all. So I'm very grateful for each and every one of you, and I hope in the future Maybe one day we all can get together and do a Gar Capital Summit meeting. That'd be fun. We just got to figure that out. Logistics are always a nightmare. I'm always here in front of the three screens. You know how it is, guys. If only. We'll see what's up. We'll see what's up. Maybe I do some kind of tour where, maybe two people meet me up at a Starbucks, just like the old days when I used to teach back in the day. I should do a video one of these days, kind of talking about the experience of how Gar Capital has gone, from the peaks to the valleys, up and down, maybe an entrepreneur type thing. Um, Being a small business owner is not easy. Let me make that clear. Doing this for a living is not easy. Maybe if there's something I could talk about in terms of tips and helpful strategies for people scaling up. I really don't talk that much in terms of business because everyone has their own type of industry. But maybe one of these days we'll do a video on that. That's a pretty podcast episode where we kind of the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. I know it sounds so sexy on Instagram, right? Keep in mind, guys, on Instagram, you're pretty much getting everyone's best. That's kind of the deal. So, we shouldn't base our lives or put ourselves down because, oh, such and such has this and such has that. If you notice on my page and on Gar Capital, we don't really talk a lot about, how much money I have or the things I have. I mean, that's irrelevant. What Gar Capital does themselves is irrelevant. The question is, what did you make? Did you profit from it? We're very client centric for that reason. So that's why we have the trophy room on the Discord channel. This is why I really focus on making sure everyone gets the exit. Hey, did you guys get in? I always check in with everybody. Hey, did you get into that trade? Did you take it? Great, awesome, you got it. And I want to keep up with everybody. And the goal is we have many goals, but the goal really to me every single day is win every single trade, no losses, 100% hit rate. Is it possible? Maybe. I can come really close though. I'll try my best. That's a 2024 goal. Just win as many trades as you can in a row and don't lose. That's the goal. We'll see if I can pull it off, or we can pull it off. All right, guys, I digress. We'll leave it there. Have a great rest of your morning. Happy Thanksgiving again to you and your family. And we will see you guys on Friday for the next morning note.